She slid past me coming from the fridge like I was a cabinet door. I reached for her waist on instinct, aiming for that quick pull-in you earn after a long day under a hood. She peeled my hand away like it was hot metal. "Not tonight," Lena said. "Third time that week? Should I book an appointment?" I asked, leaning on the counter. "Maybe check the calendar for a better night?" She bumped the fridge shut with her hip. "Can you not make everything a transaction?" "I'm tired." I heard tired, I said, and I should have shut up right there. But I gave her the kind of grace that turns men with sense into doormats. We ate in silence. Chicken got cold. Her phone lit up under the table. She answered a text like she was hiding contraband and pretended she hadn't. I let it slide. I called it Q2 Crunch and told myself it happens. Her company was rolling out a new package. Everyone pushing. That's what she said. I cleaned the pan, wiped the counter, took the trash out. She stayed in the living room, phone angled away from me. When I sat down beside her, I tried again. "You free Saturday?" I asked. "I booked that cabin by the Manistee. 2 nights. No TV, just us." She stared past me at the window. "That's really last minute. It's Wednesday. We can pack Friday. I might have a yoga thing." She rubbed her shoulder and didn't look at me. "And I'm not sure just us is what I need right now." "Noted," I said. I kept my voice steady because somebody had to. "I need you to stop talking to me like I'm a robocall." Her eyes flicked to mine. "So here are my rules for the cabin," I continued. "I'm going either way. If you come, good. If not, I'll take my rods and my piece." "That's dramatic," she said. "No drama," I answered, standing. "Just choosing where I put energy." Her glance dropped back to the phone. Whatever was on that screen had more gravity than a weekend with her husband. I grabbed my keys and went to the garage, motor oil and steel. It smelled like belonging. She left early the next morning. "Coffee," she muttered, like the word had a rental agreement. I stuck to my routine. Opened my shop in Grand Rapids, checked in with parts, talked customers through brake pads and budgets. Around noon, my foreman, Hank Alvarez, leaned over a hood and squinted at me. "You look like you slept in the bed of a truck." I slept in my own bed. "Must be the wrong bed," he said, and left it there. Hank's the kind of man who knows when to talk and when to hand you a ratchet. That night, after dinner, I cleaned my plate and set it aside. "I'm not a therapist," I said. "I run a shop and can strip a carb with my eyes closed. But I can ask straight. What's going on with you?" She licked her lip and stalled. "I'm overwhelmed. We're launching a new package. Gabe keeps pinging me." "Gabe," I said. "Your project lead." "Yeah." "Does Gabe like just us weekends?" I asked it like a joke. Her eyes flashed. "That's not funny." It wasn't a joke. It was a question. "You're making me feel policed," she said, pushing back from the table. "It's suffocating." "My goal is clarity," I said. "We can handle time constraints. We can't be roommates in the same room." She grabbed her bag. "I'm going for a drive." "Take all the space you need," I told her. "I'll be in the garage." Hard to suffocate a person from there. After the door clicked, the house finally exhaled. I stood in the kitchen and thought about 20 small things I'd ignored. The new passcode on her phone. The late nights labeled Team Sync. The way she laughed at her screen and flipped it when I walked in. I'd promised myself I wouldn't play detective. If something was wrong, I wouldn't sneak. I'd set terms. So I started simple. I split our calendar, removed my name from her social commitments, canceled the cabin, and booked myself a solo weekend at a fishing lodge next month. Moved some money from our joint checking back into my business account where it belonged. No speech, no drama, logistics. When she came back, I was in the garage wiping a torque wrench. She stood in the doorway and took in the labeled bins, the clean floor, my arms black with grease. It used to calm her. Now she looked like the smell made her nauseous. "You canceled the cabin," she said. "I stopped begging for your time," I answered. "Needed space either way. That's petty. Call it a policy shift," I said. "I'm done chasing." She opened her mouth, then shut it like she'd bitten a lemon. The shower came on upstairs. When I followed later, the bathroom smelled like eucalyptus and a shampoo I'd never seen. She was already turned away in bed, blue light haloing the quilt. 2 inches of mattress can feel like a freeway. At the shop the next morning, I scheduled a grocery delivery. It sounds small. It was the opposite. I said yes to tasks that kept the house running and no to being a prop. When I got a midweek text, "Dinner at Maddie's on Sunday. Be nice." It read like an order. "Can't." "Booked," I sent. "Booked what?" "Grocery delivery, meal prep, couple things I should have handled earlier." No reply. Sunday. She walked into the kitchen in a soft sweater and a blowout that took time and money. I was chopping carrots. She smelled like a fancy department store counter. "You're really skipping my sisters?" She asked, half surprised, half annoyed. You sent a command. I declined, I said. Try inviting me next time. This matters to me, she said. Respect matters to me. Ask, don't assume. You'll get better results. She took a breath. Softened for the first time in weeks. Okay, she said. Would you come? She's had a rough week. It would be good to show up together. I set the knife down. Better, I said. Better still. So you'll come? I'll stop by for an hour, I said. I'm driving myself. I'll leave when I'm done. She nodded like it was a win. I let her keep it. It wasn't a trophy. It was a line item. Maddie's place is a ranch on the edge of town. Trampoline out back, novelty bottle openers on a rack in the kitchen. The minute we walked in, Lena switched on a bright version of herself she hadn't shown me in months. Laugh calibrated for rooms, hand on my arm for show. Anchor voice for stories. Maddie caught me by the chips. She's blunt by nature. You too good? Define good, I said. She's been different, Maddie said. A lot of nights out. Work friends. I don't buy all of it. Noted, I said. Lena came in with a glass of Pinot. Are you two gossiping about me? Always, I said deadpan. I just told your sister I'm the difficult one, Maddie snorted. Lena's smile had a crease in it. In the living room, her brother-in-law, Troy, found the game. The couch became an island. Lena perched on the arm, scrolled, leaned down and whispered, Can you not be so aloof? It's embarrassing. Be precise, I murmured. Am I here as a guest or set dressing? Forget it, she hissed. Already did, I said. Stood, and tapped the doorframe on my way out. Maddie, thanks. Troy, enjoy the game. No scene. No storming. Just exit. I drove to the shop and did inventory. It was less lonely than pretending. That night, she set a bowl of soup beside my ledger at the kitchen table. I made extra, she said. You looked wiped earlier. Second softening. Practical. Almost kind. I took a spoonful. It's good. I didn't like how today went, she said. We need to find our rhythm again. We do, I agreed. And rhythm loves boundaries, meaning I'm done with spontaneous orders. I'm not your +1 by default. Ask, I'll answer. That's phase 1, she narrowed her eyes. Phase 1 of what? Respect. She reached for my forearm. Can we not turn our house into an HR binder? I'd love not to, I said, but your choices forced me to get formal. I stood for water and flipped my phone face up by the salt. She looked at it like a snake coiled there. 2 days later, she announced my new rules were controlling, said she couldn't breathe, said she needed space. The words landed while she zipped a weekender bag in the entryway. A pause, she called it. I need to figure out if this is what I want. Lately, it feels like a cage. I must have missed the lock, I said, hand on the banister. You come and go whenever you want. I want to be sure about us, she said. I'm already sure about me, I answered. I don't do cage life. I do houses where people choose each other. I'm staying at Nora's. A week. No pressure. We'll talk after, she said. Do me one favor, I said, voice flat as a lake at dawn. If you're going to pretend I'm a warden, turn off location sharing. Saves us both the performance. You switched it off anyway, she snapped. I don't owe you tracking. You owe me honesty, I said. But enjoy your retreat. She stared at me like I'd mispronounced her name, then left. The door shut soft. The house changed shape. I didn't rage. I didn't crowd my friends' phones for takes. I made 2 calls. One to my bank. Keep business funds separate. Freeze external transfers until further notice. One to Bowen Investigations. My wife just called a timeout. I want facts, not feelings. 7 days. Legal. Time-stamped. Photos. No theories. Kurt Bowen asked for a photo of Lena, her car, the places she hid after work. I sent him everything and swept the garage floor until it shone like a new quarter. Day 1. Nothing. Day 2. I drove out to Byron Center to look at a used lift and got an email ping from Kurt with a secure link. 3 entries. Her car at a downtown spot I know. The switchyard on Bridge Street. A grainy shot inside. Lena at a table with a man who looked exactly like the name I'd already spoken out loud. Another frame of them on the sidewalk, just close enough to share breath. It wasn't obscene. It was worse. Ordinary. His hand on her lower back. Her chin tilted up, like her home address had changed by inches. The caption read, Subject with male coworker, identified as Gabriel Nolan, project lead. Duration, 2 hour 10 minutes. Separate departures. Follow-up. Subject's vehicle parked at River's Edge Apartments later same evening. Day 3. Coffee in the morning near her office. Lunch walk. Another drop at his complex at 8:13 p.m. There was even a short video across the street. Lena laughing by the stairwell and taking Gabe's hand like they'd practiced it. That was the kill switch. Not for my temper. For my excuses. I called my attorney, Marla Chen. File, I said. You're sure? She asked. I've never been more sure, I said. Keep it clean. She keeps her car and personal accounts. Everything else stays where it is. The business is separate. I don't want scorched earth. I want clarity. I can draft by Thursday, she said. Good. I'll pick them up. I spent that afternoon in motion that looked like nothing from the outside. Passwords changed. Authorizations revoked. I cataloged what we owned and put what was hers in the guest room, neat, like I'd packed for her. I stripped our bed and washed the sheets alone. Stopped wearing my ring. Answered her texts with neutral syllables, and I slept like a man who'd chosen. Day 4 brought more emails from Kurt. I didn't open them. Proof wasn't for feelings anymore. Proof was paperwork. At the shop, Hank looked me over. You're not walking like you've got a jack on your shoulders anymore, he said. I'm awake, I said. Good, he said. We've got 2 brake jobs and an alignment. Keep moving. Day 7. Kurt pinged me. Subject returned to marital home midday with small suitcase. I was upstairs by my desk when I heard the door. Papers sat in a manila folder beside my laptop. Lena walked in at 2, smile arranged like a window display. I did a lot of thinking, she said. Hands folded, voice gentle like the beginning of us. I can't do life without you. I love you. I'm sorry for the distance. I was in my own head. I'm here now. I let silence do the first talking. She waited, tilted her head in the way that used to work. Maybe hug me? She added, like reading stage directions. I laughed. Not unkind, not loud, clean. It surprised both of us. She tried to laugh too and couldn't find the pitch. That's not the reaction I expected, she said. Are you happy I'm back or what? Gabe dump you? I asked. Her face went full fire alarm, flash of panic, then the performance. Gabe, my boss? What are you even? Different guy touching your lower back on Bridge Street, I asked. Must be. That was a work dinner, she shot back. Clients were there. And the parking lot. Where you parked 3 nights in a row? I said. At his place? Maybe your company's KPI includes that. You're being paranoid, she said, palms up, voice going high. Stop making a scene. No scene, I said. I opened the dresser, pulled out a small stack of prints Kurt had included in his report, and set them on the bed. Her at the table with Gabe, her on the sidewalk, leaned in. Her car in his lot. She stared like there had to be fine print she could game. That was a work dinner, she tried again, quieter. We stepped outside, and you parked at River's Edge because... Neighbors? I said. She opened her mouth, closed it, reached for tears, found none, then found too many. Call him, she blurted. Call him right now. He'll explain. I didn't pick up my phone. I watched her instead, and the more she scrambled, the clearer it got. It wasn't about romance. It was about options. She thought I was the safe choice. I handed her the manila folder. She touched it like it might bite. What's this? Straight terms, I said. Your car's yours. Your personal savings. Everything else stays. You can tell whatever story you need. I'll tell the truth. Her eyes flooded. You can't be serious. I am, I said. I'm done being a placeholder. After everything, you won't even try? She whispered. I tried for months, I said. Set boundaries. You called them cages. Then you walked straight into one you built. She sank on the edge of the bed. The careful hair collapsed into something honest. Please, she said. Don't do this. I wish you hadn't made it necessary, I said. But here we are. It was a mistake, she said. A moment. It meant nothing. I was stupid. You were consistent, I said. And I don't live with consistent disrespect. Don't end us, she said. We can fix it. I am ending this, I said. And you're going to pack. She looked around the room at the closet, at the drawers, at the space where the future had been. Regret flickered, the practical kind. She started stuffing clothes into a suitcase and kept talking like words could dig a tunnel back to last year. Maybe I can stay here a few days while I figure it out, she said. Hotels are expensive. Nora has a couch, I said. You found it for a week. She froze, turned. You followed me. I hired someone after you announced a pause, I said, voice still steady. Facts beat anxiety. That's twisted. What you did is twisted, I said. This is clarity. She packed faster. At one point, she pulled a framed photo off the dresser. Us on a pier up north. Late summer. Smiles that matched. She looked at it like it should fix something, then set it down face first. I never wanted to hurt you, she said. You wanted options, I said. Now you have one I built. She rolled her suitcase to the door and turned for one last swing. This one came from deeper. I do love you, she said, eyes bright. I got scared. I don't know why I did it. You did it because you could, I said. Because I made it easy. Her face hardened into someone I'd never met. Hand on the knob. I'll fight you, she said. I'll take my share. I've been generous, I said, pointing at the papers. You had comfort here. You traded it. I'm not charging double. She stood there a second too long. I gave her the last line not as a mic drop, but as inventory. You said this house felt like a cage, I said. I'm opening the door. Go wherever you want. She flinched, nodded, rolled the suitcase out. The door closed softer than I expected. The house didn't cheer. It settled, like a truck easing into the right gear. The next weeks were clean work. Papers signed. Keys returned. Her name off every bill. I put my hours where my hands were. The shop ran smoother. I stopped watching rooms for her reaction. Stopped wearing the ring. Slept in my bed again. The mattress turned back into furniture. I built a cedar canoe in the back bay at night. Put on a playlist that never changed tempo. Bent thin strips into a shape I could trust. Hank watched me fit the stem and leaned on a post. That thing going to float? Absolutely, I said. I'm taking it somewhere quiet when it does. You always were methodical, he said. I stopped being methodical at home, I said. Not anymore. You want help sanding? He asked. I want to feel it myself, I said. I signed the decree at Marla's office a month later. Simple pen, no speech. She slid me a copy and shook her head. Quickest I've seen in a while. You made it easy. I made it clear, I said. Those are different, she said. Most people mix them up, I said. I saw Derek from Lena's office at the hardware store by the sandpaper aisle. Nervous laugh. Decent handshake. Hey man, he said. We miss Lena at Friday lunches. Do you? I said. He swallowed. There was talk about her and, you know? I know, I said. She's got her path. I've got mine. For what it's worth, he said. HR sniffed around about team boundaries. It kind of fizzled. Office romances have short warranties, I said. Maddie texted once. I heard. I'm sorry, me too, I wrote. Take care of yourself. She didn't defend her sister. That told me enough. I bought a used Harley from a guy moving to Florida. Spent Saturdays in the lot behind the shop replacing what I didn't trust. On Sundays, I slid the canoe into Reed's Lake before the sun pulled company to the shore and paddled until the only sound was the blade cutting water. I stopped stocking the cheap beer. Lena liked and started buying good rye, one bottle at a time. Mostly for guests I didn't invite often. A buddy at the gym introduced me to his cousin, Riley Monroe. She runs a catering company, talks like a person who respects calendars, and never once tried to rebrand me. We had coffee, then pizza, then nothing labeled. I kept expectations low and standards high. She liked steady. I liked that. I got 2 more updates I didn't request. Derek showed up for new breaks and stood awkward in the bay. For what it's worth, he said. I'm sorry. A lot of us saw it, but it felt like none of our business. It wasn't, I said. Have a good one. Months later, Maddie sent a single line. She moved in with a friend. No spin, no ask. Just a fact. I didn't reply. What would I say? Facts stand by themselves. The money stayed straight. Lena drove away in her car with her own accounts. The house stayed mine. The shop picked up 2 new lake clients from a guy at the bait shop who couldn't stop talking about a cedar canoe you could eat your dinner off. Life did what life does when you stop feeding the drama. It got simple and honest. Sometimes I see a neighbor and they ask if I'm seeing anyone. I tell them I'm seeing sunlight, sawdust, asphalt, and my own time. I'm not close to someone good. I'm not auditioning either. There's a difference. People think the hardest part is leaving. It isn't. The hardest part is refusing to trade your dignity for a piece that never shows up. Once you stop negotiating with someone who doesn't play fair, the rest is just paperwork and a suitcase. Lena came back and tried to perform love. I laughed. Not because forgiveness is a joke, but because respect isn't. When I asked if Gabe let her go, I already knew the answer. Those photos weren't about catching her. They were for catching up with the truth I'd been dodging. If I'd bought the show she put on that day, I'd still be watching the glow of her phone from a corner like it could bite. Now, I sleep 8 hours and mean it. I ride on Saturdays. I press cedar into a boat that takes me where voices can't. I shake hands at the shop, and mean that too. When I look in the mirror, I don't see a man who got fooled. I see a man who stopped being convenient. When she stood at the door and asked me not to throw away what we had, I gave her the only line that felt accurate. I'm not throwing anything away, I said. I'm taking back what wasn't yours to spend, my time. She left. I didn't chase. The door clicked. Stayed closed. That's not anger. That's maintenance. I used to wonder how long I would have kept trying if she hadn't asked for a pause. Maybe months. Maybe years. Turns out, that week was a gift wrapped in a lie. It gave me proof. Proof gave me direction. The rest was a signature and a rolling suitcase. Funny how simple the end looks when you stop pretending the middle was complicated. I'm not bitter. I'm not on a crusade. I'm a man who knows where his energy goes. There's a spare paddle strapped inside the canoe. Not waiting for someone to complete me, waiting for someone who respects that I'm complete already and wants to paddle, not hitch a ride.